Today, it was the Democratic Party that took control of the House of Representatives. Voter turnout was really high in American history for this election cycle when you compare it to the year 2014. The blue wave came out today. They bought back legislative power to the Democrats, and they have given themselves the power to subpoena any Trump associates or Trump himself to facilitate this Russian investigation. It is a House that votes on whether to impeach a president, but keep in mind that impeachment does not mean conviction. It just means that you vote to take a president to trial, which occurs in the Senate. The Republicans keep control of the Senate. Democrats don't control both chambers of Congress. But what the Republicans in the Senate really means is that Donald Trump is going nowhere until 2020. He's the 45th president of the United States. And the number 45, it really means something. When you multiply the number 45, notice how this equals 20. He's going to be a one-term president. He's going to be a one-term president. Stock market crash is going to come here in 2019. I correctly printed part of the blue wave. I didn't get every part of the blue wave correct. I thought the Democrats would take over the Senate as well. But the main thing here is that they have the ability to impeach Donald Trump. And that was the most important thing to predict for this election cycle. And that's exactly what's happening here. Trump is going to be impeached just like Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton was impeached on December the 19th, I think it was. And it was the Electoral College that voted for Donald Trump on December the 19th. So you better believe that December the 19th holds a lot of meaning for what's going to come in 2019 and 2020. Because here's the thing, is that 2020 is the 59th quadrennial election. And it is stock market crash that equals 59 in gematria. This holds a lot of meaning. A lot, actually. Smoot-Hawley Act, and then 88 years later, Donald Trump institutes the tariffs. 88 years later from the Smoot-Hawley Act, history repeats itself with the tariffs that are going into effect. That's going to cause this crash to occur, and the rising of interest rates has everything to do with all the borrowing that we're going to have to do. Because remember, we cut taxes for the wealthy. Trickle-down economics is a scam. It doesn't produce any more additional wealth. If that were the case, we would not be having all these deficits. We'd be contributing more wealth. But that's not what happens. The wealthy sit on the dollars after they get the tax cut. That's real economics. That's not fake economics. If you're familiar with my work, you know that exactly to be true. Obstruction of justice. Pillaging of the treasury, right? Trump, the billionaire, doesn't pay for his own, renting of his properties to the Secret Service for his golfing excursions 2 out of every 3 weeks. He charges the taxpayer for rent for the Secret Service. That is an impeachable offense as far as I'm concerned. Golfing 2 out of 3 weeks is impeachable offense as well. Golfing 2 out of 3 weeks. I am too busy to golf. People believe whatever this guy says in America. Rural America is still gullible and naive. They're nice people, but they're very gullible. They're really preset into their own traditional ways and all the gun and Muslim rhetoric. This is what explains the Senate races in Indiana and Tennessee for once, right? Rural America, they only have Rush Limbaugh as their only source of news, and that's really what causes this whole propaganda wave nowadays, in addition to outright fake news. Fox News, for one, corporate media, MSNBC, CNN, news channel, the propaganda machine, economically and socially, with immigrants and guns, right? America's more polarized than ever. And that's what's happening right now after this election cycle, is we are going. Here's the thing. We'll never know the full truth about Donald Trump because of this reason. Reason of national security. George Orwell came calling again. This is what the New World Order wants. The New World Order wants to prop up the modern Hitler, Vladimir Putin, destabilize NATO. What does that do for Vladimir Putin? He kickstarts his modern-day Anschluss, where Hitler invades Poland and Czechoslovakia to take over territory with more people, a higher percentage of people that speak German. He's doing that in Crimea, where the people, a large percentage of the people over there speak Russian. This is the modern-day Anschluss, what is happening, and Vladimir Putin wants to make Russia the dominant force in the area. Destabilizing NATO is what's going to allow Vladimir Putin to attack the West. He wants to create a greater Russia. This is what World War III is going to be all about. This is what the globalists want. The globalists want to put a man in the White House that's completely beholden to Russian debt. I mean, he's going to represent the interests of the Russians. That's exactly what's happening right now. The only reason why the business empire is afloat for Donald Trump has to do with the Russians. It has to do with Vladimir Putin and the Russians and the deep state out there. He owes all this money to fucking bankers and shit, man. Vladimir Putin's a Zionist too, man. He was 64 years old when he was elected, right? When the tariffs went into effect, okay. The president of China, Xi Jinping, he was 64 years of age too. He's a member of the globalist regime that are trying to prop up all these superpowers that are propping up this proxy war right now. This is all geopolitics. This is what's coming out of Donald Trump. You talk about World War II. We talk about right-wing extremism and the rise of right-wing populism. Well, we're seeing the same thing right now. And they're taking a page out of the textbook of World War II and the next war that's needed for the bankers to prop up all this money, to crash the economy, to lend all this money to the bankers, to kickstart the next war so the globalists can continue to rack in the money to the international banking cartel machine, because it is a racket. It's a racket. Okay? These guys want to crash the economy so they can sell off and buy back. That's how they rig the system, okay? It is rigged. It's rigged economy. You better believe it. It is rigged. It was not about making America great again. It was about making the globalists great again. That was what Donald Trump represented. He's a master manipulator. Not master manipulator. Make America white again. We're a more polarized nation because of that guy, and that helps Vladimir Putin and the Russians. What would drive me crazy is getting drafted into some kind of war like that. That's the worst thing that can happen. The globalists are on the front lines. They are a step ahead of the game. They're a step ahead of the game. Don't you see it? He's not going to fight the globalists. Donald does not want to fight those people. Well, I don't care if the real estate market crashes and all this. You see? What is up with the people, man? You continue to support this fraud out there. Man, the billionaires don't like it, man. It is sick. Sick. World War III is being engineered right in front of our faces. Impeachment is on. Acquittal is on. Subpoenas are going to come along. That's what World War III is going to be about. Hell. It could involve hell. I'm highly suspectful of what Vladimir Putin's main ambitions are, okay? He does not want peace, right? Obama was wrong about the Cold War ending, okay? He's supposed to be this good guy that's supposed to be all about peace. I voted, I voted Democrat, but, Democrats are center-right. I voted Democrat independent. I voted for Sinema because she doesn't vote for the president, the majority. Well, here's the thing about Sinema is that she voted for Trump 62% of the time, and she understands that her civic duty is to vote for what Arizonans want as a whole. And McSally, she votes for Trump 98% of the time. So, I mean, fuck libertarians, man. They help the rich, and they create an oligarchic class of only haves and have-nots. Libertarians are a joke. Green Party drops out. All these people are shills. They are frauds. They do not represent what's good for America. Remember Bill Weld and Gary Johnson. Remember what they were saying about these tic-tac trade deals, that we need more of them. These parties are globalist frauds. The top 1% is still in power. Any legislative agenda that it can have the expansion of Medicare or deficit reduction is bound to be blocked by the top 1% who control the system. It is rigged. It's rigged. It completely is. It is rigged, okay? It completely is. I have had enough of this man who loves America. Well, this was such a bad... what happened to the full blue wave we needed? You see, they're probably in this all together, Kavanaugh and all this shit is just these white men had enough of that, and I'm sure this had to do. America's in deadlock, okay? It is in deadlock. It's meant to be in deadlock. Oh, America is Babylon, okay? It is Babylon, okay? It's Babylon. It's modern day Babylon, man. 666 billion deficit. Okay, that was last year. I mean, they fucking marked themselves. And you know what? 2016, you ignore the 6, it's 216. The cube root of 2016 is 6, right? That's what it really is all about. So look out for Warren. She's going to be the war president. The war is going to come out of Russia. Donald Trump is going to get killed. I'm sure the CIA are going to kill this guy. They're going to kill this guy. It's all a geopolitical front where the Russians are attacked. They got Trump there. It's the Russians that killed Trump. They blackmailed him, and now the CIA killed him. And Vladimir Putin, he wants Donald Trump to do this because he's in control of the same bankers out there that run the system. So be my guest. Syria, East Europe. I'm going with East Europe. He is the man. Okay, Vladimir Putin's not going to kill people based on race, but he's going to kill you if you disagree with him. That's what he's going to do. He is a Hitler. He's going to want to take control of the region. What he seeks is complete control of the region. I like Bernie, okay? He's the only guy, as far as I'm concerned, that can do anything. Fuck the rest of these, man. I do not know about... You see, it is a proxy, okay? And, maybe the Nationals win in 2021, right? The script from Nationals got to come out later. The nationalism script and all this, the blue wave, it happened in the House. There's something to keep an eye out for Michigan, for the Colts. Keep an eye out for Andrew Luck and the pass of the torch. Okay? Trump, man, this guy is a joke. He's some Hitler or whatever, man. He's a Hitler, man. Do you think he's a Hitler, man? I mean, he's orange because he's fake, okay? He's fake and he's plastic, okay? Elizabeth's going to win the election. It's bound to happen. I'm sure that depression is what's needed for the Dems to control all three houses, but the Dems have leaned more to the right and they've leaned more towards corporate America. And that's what Bill Clinton and NAFTA did. And that's what the next video I have to do is all about Bill Clinton and NAFTA and how really the Democrats have leaned towards corporatist leanings and they are center right. They are center right, right? It is just man, how can we get out of this? Man, these wars are planned, man. These people make me sick. These people make me sick, right? These people are nuts. Man, where was deficit reduction, man? Where was all this? They never do this crap, right? We've seen it. It'll drive you crazy if you see that World War III is being engineered in front of our own eyes. Can't you see that? Impeachment and acquittal. Don Trump Jr., right? He said, all of our money is coming from Russia. Donald Trump said that. Donald Jr. Donald Jr. You're just not paying attention. You're not paying attention to the news. You're not paying attention to what keeps his empire alive. And that's what it's all about. He is the perfect puppet to launch World War III because he is the head of the deep state. Well, not the head of the deep state. That would be Lord Zion himself, Lord Rothschild, right? The guy who controls all the banks around the world and whatnot, and all of his subsidiaries, all of his other corporate agents out there, Goldman Sachs and Rothschild Inc. and all that, and Citibank and Morgan Stanley and whatnot. All these people that are loosening regulations for the banks right now are about to kickstart the next crash. I am telling you, when I see all this right-wing populism all around Europe, and I see Vladimir Putin get more influence, then it just reminds me of World War II, right? That the parallels are there for World War III to happen. It never was supposed to happen, under Obama or under the rest of the 2010s. It was all supposed to come a little later, and that's what the movie Wonder Woman is going to be all about. I'm really sure is, that alpha female out there is going to lead us all to victory, right? Lead all these guys to victory, right? It was based on World War II also, and all these events happening have very similar parallels to World War II. It's because the elites study their history as well, and they tie it all together. That's what it's all about. Man, all this is just, it is just unbelievable, man. 2020, when Warren's in the presidency, you better believe it. Now, where do I think he'd be assassinated? Yeah, he'd have to be, I could shoot someone at the middle of Fifth Avenue, whatever. It just seems like the ideal place for assassination would be at Trump Tower. I don't think he's got many years left on this world after he gets done with the presidency. No doubt about it. Democrats are better than Republicans. I know that Democrats are center-right, right? Republicans are worse. They're far worse. They're exploiting our deficits like never before if you haven't been paying attention. You take the lesser of two evils, man. That's what the rigged system is about until we get another third party or until the people fight back. Simply enough. Yeah, Trump getting a second term. I don't know about that after today's elections. I mean, that doesn't make any sense at all. Voter turnout was record highs this year. Oh, man, I got Duke with it, man. I got Duke. King Zion, hey, it's probably going to be Duke's here. 6th title is worth a look, but astrology, too, is needed to look out for this edition of March Madness. Michigan is number 4 right now. I'm still going with the Wolverines. I'm completely right about the Michigan Wolverines being their national title. Again, the blue wave in the house is what it's going to represent for 2019. Woo! Man, I'm done venting, but it's just stay calm and just, predict how this whole geopolitical script is going to turn out. I know for a fact that Warren's going to win because all these females in the White House or in the House of Representatives for 2019, January the 3rd, I think is when they begin their session for the 160th Congress. Then 2020, where people, the majority, went out to vote today as a protest vote against Donald Trump. Well, when you just focus on the general presidential election, then it really is no debate. They're going to prop up Elizabeth Warren and her establishment of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. It seems like that election is going to be pre-planned. as well. So that's what happens here. We'll see right now. Blue wave occurred, and we'll have to see if the impeachment is on, which I'm going to say it is. But President Pence, that is a far-fetched reality. That's a far-fetched reality. And look at all these crazy conspiracies over here. This party, they're nothing close to being liberal and Democrats. They're still not going to support single payer. I don't know if you're paying attention or not. But this is a completely well-orchestrated geopolitical setup for a World War III to occur. Donald Trump is the perfect puppet out there. There are not enough retards to vote to think that Donald Trump's going to win in 2020. You guys will, find out sooner than later that he's really reached his peak for what he can do legislatively.